She's texting you constantly, thinking about you when you're not around, making excuses to see you, rearranging her schedule around yours. She can't stop thinking about you even when she tries. This isn't fantasy. It's the predictable result of understanding female psychology at a level most men never reach. Here's what nobody tells you. Women don't become addicted to perfect men. They become addicted to men who trigger specific psychological patterns that create obsessive thinking and emotional attachment. These patterns are rooted in evolutionary psychology and neuroscience. They're not manipulation. They're understanding how attraction actually works beneath conscious awareness. The ancient Stoics understood human psychology deeply. They knew that people are driven by emotions, then justify with logic. They knew that certain patterns of behavior create specific psychological responses. Today, you're learning 3 specific things that trigger female psychology in ways that create intense attraction and attachment. Not tricks. Genuine behaviors rooted in character that naturally create obsessive thinking. Marcus Aurelius was studied in human nature. He understood what motivated people at depths most never explore. That understanding made him extraordinarily influential. Apply that same depth of understanding to relationships, and you become unforgettable. Let's break down the 3 elements that create psychological addiction. The first thing is intermittent reinforcement of attention and affection. This is the most powerful psychological principle in attraction. It's why gambling is addictive. It's why social media hooks people. And it's why certain men become impossible to forget. Here's how it works. You give her amazing attention and connection sometimes, then you withdraw and focus elsewhere. Then you return with great energy, then withdraw again. The pattern is unpredictable. This unpredictability creates obsessive thinking. Her brain is trying to figure out the pattern. When will he be warm again? What makes him pull back? How can I get that amazing connection back? Most men make the fatal mistake of being constantly available and consistently attentive. This feels right. Show her you care through constant attention, right? Wrong. Constant availability creates habituation. She gets used to your attention. It becomes expected, then taken for granted, then boring. But intermittent reinforcement keeps her brain actively engaged. She's never quite sure when she'll get that hit of connection. So she thinks about you, constantly trying to figure it out. Epictetus taught about not being controlled by external validation. When you genuinely have other priorities beyond her, intermittent reinforcement happens naturally. You're focused on your mission, so your attention becomes genuinely scarce. Here's the practical application. Have amazing dates where you're fully present and creating strong connection. Then go several days without contact while you focus on your life. Then reconnect strongly. Then pull back again. She's not wondering if you're interested. Your great dates prove interest. But she's wondering when she'll get that connection again. That wondering creates obsessive thinking. Critical distinction. This isn't playing games or deliberately ignoring her. It's genuinely having a life full enough that your attention is naturally limited and valuable. The second thing is creating emotional peaks and valleys. Women become addicted to emotional experiences, not stable contentment. The man who takes her on emotional journeys becomes unforgettable. The man who's just pleasant all the time becomes forgettable. Think about the men women can't stop thinking about. They're usually the ones who create intense emotional experiences, making her laugh deeply, challenging her intellectually, creating mild tension, then resolving it, being playfully provocative, generating real emotions beyond surface-level pleasantness. Most men try to be nice all the time, agreeable, pleasant, safe. This creates emotional flatness, no peaks, no valleys, just boring middle ground that generates no strong feelings. But strong emotions create strong memories. Strong memories create attachment. The man who generates strong emotions becomes psychologically addictive because her brain associates him with feeling intensely alive. Marcus Aurelius understood that life requires contrast, light and dark, challenge and ease, tension and resolution. Apply this to relationships and you create compelling emotional experiences. Here's the practical application. Be warm and engaged sometimes, aloof and focused on your mission other times. Agree with her on some things, challenge her thinking on others. Be serious when depth is needed, playfully teasing when lightness fits. Create emotional variety, not monotony. The key is the variety itself. If you're always challenging, you become exhausting. If you're always agreeable, you become boring. The mixture creates addictive unpredictability. She never quite knows which version of you she'll get. The warm, connected version? The focused, slightly distant version? The playfully provocative version? The deeply serious version? This unpredictability keeps her brain engaged because humans are pattern-seeking machines. When patterns are unpredictable but rewarding, we become obsessed with figuring them out. The third and most powerful thing is making her feel chosen rather than entitled to your commitment. Most men give commitment too easily. She shows interest, he's immediately all in. She suggests exclusivity, he agrees without thought. He treats the relationship like a done deal from the first date. This eliminates all tension and mystery. She never had to work for anything. She never had to prove her value. She never had to compete for your attention. She just showed up and got everything. This creates entitlement, not appreciation, and entitlement kills desire. But when she has to gradually earn your commitment, when she has to demonstrate her value over time, when she has to compete somewhat for your full investment, she becomes psychologically invested in winning you completely. People value what they work for. When commitment comes too easily, it has no value. When it must be earned gradually through demonstrating compatibility and value, it becomes precious. Seneca wrote about the importance of valuing what's difficult to attain. Women instinctively understand this. They value men who don't give commitment easily. Here's the practical application. Show interest but maintain slight skepticism about long-term compatibility. Make her prove over time that she deserves your full commitment. Have standards she must meet. Don't be all in immediately just because she's attractive. This doesn't mean being cold or unavailable. It means maintaining standards and making her demonstrate she meets them before you fully commit. You're interesting, but I need to see if we're actually compatible long-term is far more attractive than, I'm so glad we found each other, I can see this being serious. The first creates challenge and investment. The second creates entitlement and complacency. She should feel like she's gradually winning you over through demonstrating her value, not like you were won over immediately just because she showed up. Here's how these three elements work together to create psychological addiction. Your intermittent attention keeps her thinking about you constantly. She's trying to figure out when she'll get that connection again. Your emotional variety makes interactions intensely memorable. She associates you with feeling alive in ways other men don't create. Your selective commitment makes her feel like she's earning something valuable. She's investing effort to win you completely. This combination triggers obsessive thinking. She can't stop wondering about you. When will he reach out? What's he doing? Does he think about me? How can I see him again? Am I winning him over? This isn't manipulation if it's genuine. If you truly have a mission that sometimes takes priority, if you truly have emotional depth that creates varied experiences, if you truly have standards and require compatibility before full commitment, but if you're faking these things while desperately hoping she becomes attached, she'll sense the inauthenticity and the whole thing collapses. The Stoics taught that virtue must be genuine. These patterns only create healthy attachment when they reflect real character and genuine standards. Here's the critical ethical consideration. Use this understanding to create healthy relationships with compatible women, not to manipulate vulnerable people. These principles work because they align with healthy relationship psychology. Some distance creates desire, emotional variety creates engagement, earned commitment creates appreciation. These are features of healthy relationships, not manipulation tactics. The difference is intent and authenticity. Here's your practical implementation framework. Build genuine purpose. Fill your life with meaningful work that sometimes takes priority over relationships. This creates authentic, intermittent reinforcement. Develop emotional range. Be comfortable being serious, playful, challenging, supportive as situations require. This creates genuine emotional variety. Maintain real standards. Know what you require in a partner. Make women demonstrate compatibility before full commitment. This creates genuine selective investment. Stay physically excellent. None of this works if you're not fit, well-groomed, and presenting well. Physical attraction is the foundation everything else builds on. Remain socially calibrated. These principles require reading situations correctly. If she's genuinely losing interest, more distance doesn't help. If she's testing you, maintaining frame does help. Calibration is everything. The goal isn't to make every woman addicted to you. The goal is to create genuine attraction and healthy attachment with compatible women through understanding psychology and expressing authentic value. Marcus Aurelius influenced people through understanding human nature deeply and acting accordingly, not through manipulation, through wisdom applied practically. The same approach works in relationships. Understand female psychology, express your value authentically, create the conditions for healthy attachment. This requires being genuinely high value. If you're not fit, accomplished, interesting, and living well, understanding psychology won't save you. But if you are high value, understanding these principles helps you express that value effectively. Remember, women don't become addicted to perfect men who are always available. They become addicted to valuable men whose attention and commitment must be earned. Be that valuable man, not through performance, through genuine development of character, purpose, and standards. If you're ready to understand female psychology at this depth and build the character that makes these principles work naturally, comment below. I choose mastery.